Award. Let's find out what's happening with the housing market now. Tony Joe joins Astrid Braunschmidt.
Thanks very much, Eric. And yes, the question we all want to know, Tony, is it a good time to buy a house?
It is indeed a good time to buy a house.
If you can afford it, because it's expensive here, let's be honest. We've got quite high prices in Victoria.
Yeah, the reality is Victoria has always been a pricey place. We're the second most expensive real estate in Canada right now. We're always either number 2 or number 3, but you know, when you think about it, we're that way for a reason. People have moved here. Very seldom do we, when we're giving presentations or talks, do we find out there's any more than maybe 5% of the people in the room that are actually born and raised Victorians. Everyone has come here for a reason. And I think that's one of the things that has contributed to the prices as they are right now.
Now, we look at the housing market down in the United States and the crashing that's happening there. And, you know, there's discussion and talk about how that could affect our economy here. As far as the real estate market goes, do you see us having a dip in our prices just to respond to the economic issues that are happening?
Well, we're not sure that it's necessarily directly a result of what's happening in the States. You know, the bottom line is we were due for a bit of a correction anyways, because for 5 years the market just went crazy. And it was great for sellers.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was really good for sellers. People made a lot of money on their real estate 5 years ago.
And indeed, everything basically doubled in price. And in the marketplace, it was great as well, because generally anything that came on the market ended up selling very quickly, oftentimes over market value. And again, that was great for sellers, not so great for buyers. And the nice thing about today's market is buyers aren't seeing that much.
Okay, so that means that there are more listings. I mean, we've heard the statistics that we're at a 12-year high for listings on the MLS system.
Correct.
So obviously then buyers have more options right now.
That's right.
How are prices? Are they going down a little bit? Do you have any comparisons?
I do. You know, it's interesting because the Real Estate Board expresses their prices in averages naturally. So we saw the average sale price go from $549,900 to $549,200 from last month to this month. So that's not much of a change. On the other hand, when we look back, we hit a high of about $600,000 not too long ago. So, you know, it could be perceived that the prices went from $600,000 to $540,000. We have to remember that the averages are really influenced by how many higher-end sales sell in a given month, or how many lower-end sales sell in a given month. So to give you an example, in August there were 11 sales over $1 million, whereas in August of '07 there were 23. So obviously that has some influence. I think the only true way to determine where the market has gone is to be able to see if a house sold last year, say in August, and if it resold again this year in August, to see what happened. You know, did it go up in price? Did it go down in price?
What are you seeing when you compare those types of listings?
Well, we've got a couple of examples, actually. There was a property on Walford. It was a newer property. It sold in August of '07 for $455,000.
Okay.
And it resold in June for $470,000.
So it went up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
that sort of goes against what the averages have said.
Okay.
Right? There's another example on Riverside in the View Royal area that sold at $596,000 again in August, and it resold this August at $618,000.
So there you go. So you would argue that prices are right where they should be, and they're fairly similar to where they were a year ago.
Yeah, well, and the other thing too is what all of the economists or what studies are saying about the rest of Canada. You know, there's that discussion about the fact that certain markets are overvalued,
right, or
that prices are due to go down, you know, 15–20%. I think it's unlikely we're going to see that here. We're not going to see the growth that we saw for the past 5 years. But it's a great market now because there's a lot of things for people to choose from.
Tony, we could talk about this all morning, but we sadly are out of time, so we've got to leave it at that. The Victoria Real Estate Board, you can check out. I think we've got the website or the information there for you. And thank you so much for coming in and making a little bit of sense of the numbers for us.
Thanks, Astrid.
There is more to come.